it's very strange to record the video because I got used to do the streaming so much that I don't know how to record the video, but I'm gonna do it. So what I want to do right now, first of all, I don't want to do the strange video editing after, so I'm gonna do everything just in one video, and that's all. So number one, I want to explain a little bit about my book, the one that I wrote. And this book is about how to live in the world of IT. If you're just a simple girl, if you're just a simple boy, and if you just want to be happier. And this is also because I saw a lot of psychologists, a lot of books, and they are very describing you from not realistic. Sometimes when I see how people are describing the psychology nowadays, it seems that they are like the same way as the fashion shows. The fashion that people are showing on the fashion events are so far away from the ones that people are actually gonna wear in real life. And that's what's going on right now with psychology, because people just will not use it because it's not realistic. So I wrote the book from my perspective, like a normal human being, with the tricks that are useful, not like in fashion world, So what I want to say is I want to go briefly through the table of contents of my book, and maybe if someone want to be happier can use those tricks, little tips of what I'm giving, and maybe it's going to be helpful. So first of all, I'm talking about the paradox. And the paradox is about that sometimes, especially if you're a girl in the profession, in the IT, you are getting this kind of a feeling that someone is so in need of your job, but at the same time, especially if you're working in the environment of quality assurance, also DevOps, also in the customer care, you're like feeling that you're always in the lower position, but at the same time, everyone like needs you. So this is what I call the paradox and how to deal with this. And actually, I'm revealing the paradox in there so people can be aware of it, because it's very hard sometimes to be just aware of it. Next one, it's a little story that I called Cheese at the Kindergarten. I will not go inside because this is a very cute fact. It's like a little note, like little observation from the real world about how the human psychology is working. And I'm just leaving it behind because this is something that should be revealed in the book. Next one I called Are You a Coder? Because this is what actually is going on is we are a lot of times approach the coding question not as the tool for solving the problem, but as something that we need to achieve. Just achieve to get the mark that I'm a coder. But this is not what we should pay attention on. And as I was studying and as a person who lived her life in the environment of developers, in the family of developers, I know that the concept of coding should be solving the problem, not for the sake of coding or just saying that you can code. It's a very important one. Next one I called Observe. Skipping this one also not into details because something that should be read, but this is actually about how you need to observe the reality and then take the decisions. Then I call Such a Different Views on the Same Issue. Such a Different Views on the Same Issue. It's pretty much about that. I'm gonna give here an example. It's about the Vaseline, and the lipstick. So I had two friends, and one girl, she's saying that you never can use as a lipstick the cream like Vaseline, and another one saying that is only one product that you can use. So what I'm saying here is that people are actually having different point of view on the same subject and how to deal with it, and actually that we need to collect all the opinions and after take a decision and to understand that there is no exact truth or no correct answer to pretty much anything. Next one, is the manual testing that bad? So I'm going a little bit of the testing part in here because that's how I started, right? And explaining that actually also people are undervaluating the manual testing, but at the same time the majority of the bugs and critical bugs are being found by this. So giving a credit to this a little bit about documentation in our work, how to relax at job, super important, especially for the girls. Then I got some kind of a very curious part about if you are a woman. So here is what I'm saying, I'm writing right now my next book, but here what I'm saying is, if you're a woman and you're working like me, 13 years in IT, we need to allow ourselves to be who we are. Not to pretend that if we are all surrounded in a male environment that we don't like makeup, or we don't like play Barbie, or we don't like something. One thing does not exclude another. If we like to wear pink dress, it doesn't mean that we cannot write code. It's not. So this is what this part is about, breaking those stereotypes a little bit. Appearance questions, I'm placing there very, very high. Also, I'm giving very big thanks to all of the men who supported, who were not discriminating in a way. So I'm giving thanks to all of those. Fear of showing yourself is pretty much related, and to the girly girl, pretty much related. There are chapters that I'm mentioning in the book. It's all about related how we should accept ourselves inside of the environment at work. Fear of showing yourself especially. Then I placed a very popular, and especially in my streaming online part, for introverts, extroverts, and leadership. This is a very, very interesting subject for me, about introverts and extroverts. And this is about, we are so good at placing labels. We are so good, especially in the working environment, like, you're an extrovert, you're an introvert, which is not should be like this. So I'm talking about this also because in one situation we are extroverts, in another situation we are introverts, and this also depends on the planets and moon and whatever it is. And yeah, so we should not put the labels, and I'm talking about this and a little bit about the leadership, how we can place ourselves as leaders. And also, well, not gonna say something extra because this is my next book about, and I don't want to reveal these things. Breaking the rules, about how people actually breaking the rules, and when and how you can break the rules legally and how this can help. Actually, sometimes not following the rules is not a very good idea. About the Generation Z, I don't remember what I wrote about Generation Z there. You're gonna figure it out. Back in time, I think I was talking back in time about how it all started and how stereotypes from the back are influence our life today. So yeah, these two chapters I don't remember actually very good. Also, I was mentioning about physical health and working from home questions. I'm gonna touch it in my next book, another one, because time is flying. I need to write 1 million books, so we are covering this, but something is already changed, and I'm gonna cover it in the next book. Imposter syndrome. Basically, when I'm saying that for us is very important, for anyone, I'm not saying only about girl or boy. When you are not sure about yourself, or when you're like super high professionally, but you're constantly doubting yourself or think that you are not deserve something. So I'm talking about the imposter syndrome, and the main point is about we should not fall into the trap that imposter syndrome is something that we repeat in ourselves, and even if we don't have imposter syndrome, we are just trying to believe that we have it. So sometimes we should just ignore the imposter syndrome and go through all of the challenges. Demo effect, pretty much the demo effect that is nothing gonna work as you want it to work, and be ready to this, especially if you try to show it to someone. And I made there a very good example, I think, is that you remember this law of attraction experiment when people are when the behavior of the particle changes, whether someone is watching it or not. It's pretty much in IT. The software gonna behave differently if you look on it or not. And about the paranoia that people can get during the work is also pretty much related to imposter syndrome, but it's like actually when you're started to be so paranoid about the quality of your job and going so much into perfectionism that you're like stop trusting yourself, and you need to recheck everything 1 million times before letting it go to the real world. So it's not good. I'm talking about this there. and about artificial intelligence, because the book was published exactly in the moment when artificial intelligence just boomed. So we discussed a little bit whether artificial intelligence really gonna steal all our jobs, or we gonna steal something from artificial intelligence. And that's pretty much it. So I hope that someone gonna be really interested in it, especially if someone who is trying to start their life in the world of IT. And yeah, and let's see. I'm gonna place the links to download the book below, and very happy to introduce it. Maybe someone gonna be really happy after this book and use some of the tricks.